Some of you may get offended by this video, although I'm not really sure why. It's directed towards Putin because I'm not really anti or for. I'm going to cover it, so I know that there's some people who are big Putin fans. And I guess the only thing I can say is, does he give a crap about you wherever you're living in America or whatever? No, he doesn't. So we're just going to cover it here and try to look at it from different angles, right? Doesn't mean I'm pro-Obama or Bush or something. The UK views Russia more positively than the EU, says a poll. This is for March 23rd. British citizens view Russia more favorably than the European Union, a survey has revealed. Obama flies to a Europe shaken by Putin's bold strategy. That's right. After Putin's seizure of Crimea and his threats against eastern parts of Ukraine, he's taken off. Actually, he's in Saudi Arabia right now. But, so, yeah, it says here that he's doing the whole nuclear summit and confer with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, whose country is the biggest importer of Russian gas. How they're going to impose sanctions against the people that are providing their gas. I don't know. I guess that makes it easier for them to develop energy diversity, right? And then here on Monday afternoon, he's going to meet with the president of China. So this makes sense. This kind of shows you who is behind this. It says Putin has forced the U.S. and Europe to refocus on the origins of the modern transatlantic alliance. That's interesting because that's the second time we've heard that recently, right? Today in the news cycle, the transatlantic alliance, talking about how that was key, right? Energy was actually at the top of this EU thing. So maybe the TPP, Transatlantic Partnership Pact. So we live in a very different world than we did less than a month ago, says the NATO general. So Russia's aggression is a wake-up call for the Euro-Atlantic community, for NATO and all those committed to a Europe whole, free, and at peace. I'm not going to go too much further into this, but it's just funny how obvious this crap is, as far as it just... Russia's brute force is a jarring diversion from Obama's second-term agenda of combating climate change, increasing the minimum wage, and his health care. So it's just like, are you giving me a break? Like I mentioned at the end of the last video, he's the natural gas president. He's doing what he was put there to do. He wasn't there because he's, to raise minimum wage, all liberal Democrat stuff. No, he's there to push natural gas, and that's what he's doing. I had someone tell me too that his whole thing is to keep the dollar hegemony going as well, and so far we've seen that. So he's been a huge success, right, for what he was put there. Then you're seeing this, right? WhiteHouse.gov petition seeks to give Alaska back to Russia. So the campaign currently falls about 70,000 signatures short, but coincides with Russia's annexation of Crimea. And you have to think, they are ahead, right? They're ahead. The West is very good at these coup d'etats and regime changes. Very, very effective at it. So, Russia, they're kind of still old school, where they just try to take things by force, right? Instead of manipulating others and co-opting revolutions and creating destabilization campaigns and disseminating psychological operations through the media. So, the untouchable leader, Vladimir Putin. I'm not joking. U.S. News. Experts question whether Obama can and should put the elusive Russian president directly in his sights. So they try to play it up, right? I guess Obama dismissed Russia as a regional power, I guess, instead of a global power. No, they're actually a competition to the global power. That's what the problem is, like I said. This article, enough of Putin worship already. So, Russia's central bank is Rothschild and oversaw the proliferation of commercial banking in post-Soviet Russia, saying, of course, this infamous quote, "Give me control of the nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws." Who created the oil boom that allowed Russia to rebuild its army? Why, it was the U.S. empire in its quest to defend the petrodollar. Ooh, look at that. So, it says, when we learn about the multifaceted strategy coming together, the money power strategists are a good way at what they do, and that's just a case in point. So, Putin did not kill oligarchic rule in Russia. what Nazis. He pushed back Berezovsky and others because they were a threat to the Russian state, which the money power needs to be strong and centralized. The Putin oligarch deal is quite clear. The Kremlin for him, the economy for them. Why is he not providing interest-free money to the people? Why is the population of Russia still tanking after 15 years of rule? I've covered that before. I know it takes time and everything, but I've heard about just hollowed-out towns that look like they're still from, the Stalin era, while you go into other parts and it's just, billionaires and stuff. Where did all the oil money go besides the oligarchs in the weapon industry? Why is he not exposing the bankers that they are running the show? And why is he pretending that this is a conflict of nations? And I got criticized for that because I was saying this is basically a battle of oligarchs. But really, I went for a step further and I said, actually, this is being somewhat orchestrated and played off to be, us versus them, the bad guys and stuff. They're like, no, they're just fighting the globalists and stuff like that. And technically, that's true because, like I said, they're a regional competitor to the globalists. But I think they're still part of the game here. But it was interesting, though, just to throw it out there. I actually had a dream, one dream about 3 weeks ago, in which it had Putin in there. But it was all about the media and how the media was portraying him. And I remember when I was watching it, whatever feeling I was getting, it was that, the West was trying to demonize this guy, but in a way, I could tell that the people that were receiving all of that were actually saying, he's not a bad guy. Wow, he's actually kind of cool. And so I guess that strategy is probably what they were using, and it may be kind of effective. I guess Putin said this: we will strive to ensure a new world order, one that meets current geopolitical realities and one that develops smoothly and without unnecessary upheaval. So talking to Kissinger, he basically agrees that they want to have close and trusting interactions between Moscow and Washington, particularly important in periods of international turbulence. Basically, like I said, any form of pockets of resistance while they're taking over the world financially. Another thing that I'm seeing, of course, because of this nuclear summit, that's probably why we're seeing all this crap. Putin could be like Stalin, but with nukes, a lot of nuclear news. They worry about the return of the personality-driven dictatorship, which, of course, the cult of personality can be played up by the West, like they've done, with everything, Time magazine, whatever. Merkel miffed at Barack Obama and David Cameron nuclear war games. The world leaders played an interactive nuclear game designed to test their responses to a terrorist atomic dirty bomb attack that threatened the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. So, yeah, this was at the nuclear summit at The Hague. Something interesting, too, you have the spinning holographic pyramid greeting world leaders at the nuclear summit. Interesting little note, too. They say world leaders are wearing the unholy triangles. So there's triangles within triangles. Yeah, there's one. They're wearing them right there. And you could probably go on and on. Some people said the all-seeing eye inside of triangle. Yeah, I guess you can see that. Looks like the ends aren't capped or something like that. But also I see what? I see a hexagon, which is 720 degrees with all the angles put together. 7 and 2 is 9. There's 9 triangles I counted inside here, are making up this whole thing. I also see, you can look at it this way. There's arms, there's legs, and that looks like a head, but kind of a weird looking shaped head. It's like an alien. Then you have this article from the 24th about some kind of mystery plume on a radar. Weather experts are baffled by the mystery plume on radar near a 1945 nuclear bomb test site. A mysterious storm cloud was caught on the radar after erupting at a U.S. military missile testing ground in New Mexico. Conspiracy theorists have speculated that the plume-like cloud, which seems to appear out of nowhere, could have been kicked up by an explosion from an unreported weapons test. The plume first appeared at sunset on Monday evening over the part of the basically missile sands, White Sands missile range, close to Trinity site, where the first atomic bomb was detonated in 1945. Alright, moving on here, we have a small nuclear war would destroy the world. This is coming from March 26. An estimated 17,000 nuclear weapons in the world. We have the power to exterminate humanity many times over. But it wouldn't take a full-scale nuclear war to make Earth uninhabitable. So even a small regional nuclear war like the conflict between India and Pakistan could spark a global environmental catastrophe. So maybe this is what they're talking about. Maybe this is what that meeting was about, you know. Maybe it was about, they're done with whatever they've done with Ukraine and all that. They're moving on to something else, which is, let's get rid of nuclear weapons, or let's do something, whatever. They always have something planned, like I said. The energy diplomacy, had that planned years in advance. Israel shuts embassies to store nukes. This is from Gordon Duff. Israeli embassies across the world have been, there's been a scenario by Tel Aviv to store nuclear weapons in its diplomatic facilities. So, he alleges that satellite-based sensors have detected special nuclear material at Israeli embassies. Says there's an unprecedented amount of closures of the Israeli embassies may well be true. Also, says there's a war plan that includes simultaneous assaults on the worldwide embassy consular facilities to be determined nation in case of special circumstances. There's a video, if you type this in, the Truth Seeker media staged Syria chemical attack. Not really news for us if you paid attention to these types of reports. People have been saying that, but they go in there and say how they changed it and stuff, what the people were actually saying. All right, Turkey. We were talking about Turkey. NATO's plans for a false flag attack on Turkey have been revealed. So they've been planning a false flag attack against Turkey. In fact, the chemical weapons thing was actually a false flag. There was supposedly a leaked email that said that they would blame it, blame it on say it was coming from Ukraine, or blame it on Russia. So there's been a false flag attack planned against Turkey to justify the Turkish invasion of northern Syria, the International Business Times reported in its article. And this is why supposedly Erdogan had the YouTube ban. Not sure how people are seeing that, but I saw in the top trends was YouTube ban, and it's more because freedom of speech or something like that. But it's probably just deflecting what he's actually talking about, which was this false flag. And here you can actually find it here too. But we had this, Erdogan's saying, we will not take this aggression, right? That's after they shot down a Syrian jet that was chasing out these Western-backed and Turkish-backed militants near the Turkish border. So they shot them down. You have the foreign ministry saying they'll take any measures if national security has been threatened. This was a couple days ago, so why would they be saying all this? So this is no surprise that the U.S. and these agencies would be funding or backing these rebels. Now they're saying the CIA chief is saying that the Al-Qaeda terrorists are seeking a Syrian base from which they could carry out future strikes against Europe and the United States. So I guess they can start by stopping funding terrorism there. Then you wouldn't have refugees, and then you could stop having so many Syrian refugees with terrorists mixed in with them coming into your country. And, most of you already know that this is most likely true. How about the guy that was caught over there, the white dude fighting alongside the rebels, right? His dad said, oh, yeah, he's working for the CIA, most likely. It's good, though, because then you can clamp down on your own citizens when there's that threat. Global health success. So it's a global health success. India has been certified free of polio. So now with the deadly Ebola virus outbreaking from Africa to Canada, maybe there'll be a vaccine soon. Well, they say commercial Ebola vaccine. Unlikely, says researchers. Why? Oh, because there's been a decline in funding. This was over the whole budget cut and sequestering when they were playing all that crap game. So they said they don't have enough funding. So why don't the corporations funding? Why don't Pfizer and these big companies fund their own damn research? So because that's the way it works, right? I mean, they're going to use the victims of that in Africa as what? Human trials. Rothschild takes down the Malaysian airliner MH370 to gain rights to a semiconductor patent, basically getting rid of those who stood in his way. This company, who had a microchip, shared its rights with Rothschild, had 20 members on board before the plane went missing. They were working to make the company's chip facilities in China. Another theme in the news, like nuclear, is oil spills. Exxon Valdez happened 25 years ago, but it's not over. How about BP? More than doubles the estimate of oil spilled in Lake Michigan. Remember the article about killing everything in the Great Lakes to create a source of biofuel using algae? Texas rushes to contain oil spill and key bird habitat. Remember the high school students showing that Wi-Fi kills plants? Science project reveals high levels of radiation at the grocery store, so go figure. But yeah, let's bring on that wireless electricity. Thank you.